Listen, before we even talk about anger, I want you to understand something real. A person only has as much control over you as the reaction you give them. That's it. The moment you stop reacting, you stop being controlled. Most people spend their whole life letting somebody else press their buttons, letting strangers on the internet ruin their mood, letting jealousy, gossip, disrespect knock them off their square. But there's a different level, a level where you become untouchable, where people try you and you don't even flinch, not because you're weak, but because you know your energy too valuable to hand out. Let's talk about how to reach that level. Master your inner pace. That's the whole game. See, a lot of people think winning is about working faster, talking louder, moving harder. But the truth is, power comes from rhythm, from owning your tempo, from deciding how fast or slow you let life affect you. When you control your pace, nobody can rush you into anger, panic, or emotional reactions. You become grounded, centered, focused. You move like someone who knows exactly where they're going, and you don't let anybody push you off course. Most people spend their whole life reacting. Somebody says something disrespectful, they explode. Somebody tests them, they jump. Somebody throws shade, they chase. That's not strength. That's just moving on somebody else's beat. And the moment you move on somebody else's beat, you lose your own direction. You start living in defense instead of intention. Mastering your inner pace means you slow your mind down even when the world tries to speed you up. It's choosing calm when everything around you is loud. It's choosing silence when someone wants you to argue. It's choosing patience when someone is begging you to rush. When you live like that, you stop being controlled. Because anger needs speed, ego needs speed, reactivity needs speed. But wisdom, that lives in stillness. You ever seen somebody try to get a reaction out of you and you gave them nothing? You stayed quiet, you stayed cool, you stayed focused. That silence shook them more than any words could. Because people don't know how to handle someone who doesn't move emotionally, someone who doesn't break character, someone who doesn't let outside energy decide their behavior. When you master your inner pace, you start choosing your responses instead of giving your reactions. That's the difference between somebody who's at war with everything and somebody who's at peace within themselves. And peace, real peace, comes from discipline. It comes from knowing you don't need to match the energy people bring you. You only need to protect your own. A lot of anger comes from rushing to defend yourself, rushing to prove a point, rushing to be right, rushing to protect your ego. When you slow down, you start asking better questions. Is this worth my energy? Is this person even important? Does this situation matter in the long run? Most of the time, the answer is no. And the moment you realize that, your urge to react disappears. Your inner pace is your filter. It keeps you from getting caught in small battles while you're on your way to big victories. It stops you from throwing your peace away over things that don't affect your future. When your mind is calm, you see clearly. You move intentionally. You don't get bothered by people who are only trying to distract you because they can't reach your level. Understand something: emotional control isn't about being cold. It's about being wise enough to know that not everything deserves a piece of you. Your time, your energy, your presence, those are investments. And not everybody qualifies for that investment. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to stay silent and keep walking. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is let someone stay mad while you stay focused. When you master your inner pace, you break the cycle of reacting. You stop letting your environment dictate your behavior. You become steady. You become centered. You become someone who cannot be moved by words, by attitudes, by drama, or by people who don't understand your growth. The truth is, the world will never stop testing you. People will never stop trying to poke at your emotions. Situations will never stop rising up to pull you back into your old ways. But when your pace is locked in, when you decide you're moving on your own rhythm, nothing outside of you can shake you. You stop being bothered because you stop being available for negativity. And once you reach that place, that calm, controlled, intentional place, you realize something: nobody is worth your anger. Nobody is worth your peace. Nobody is worth losing yourself over. Move slow. Think clear. Respond with purpose. Master your inner pace and you'll master your life. Detach from ego. That's one of the hardest lessons you'll ever learn, but one of the most freeing. See, most people walk around thinking they're angry at the world, angry at people, angry at disrespect, but the truth is, they're really just angry because their ego keeps getting touched. Their pride keeps getting poked. Their image keeps getting challenged. And the moment your identity depends on the opinions or reactions of other people, you're already trapped. You got to understand something. Ego is loud, but it's fragile. It looks strong, but it breaks easy. And every time you snap, every time you react, every time you let someone pull you into drama, that's not your strength talking. That's your ego begging for attention. That's your ego saying, don't let them talk to you like that. But ask yourself, for real, why does it matter? If someone throws shade, does it change your purpose? If someone doubts you, does it change your gift? If someone disrespects you, does it change your future? No. All it touches is your ego. When you detach from ego, you stop fighting battles that don't pay you back. You stop wasting energy proving yourself to people who don't even matter in the long run. You stop defending a reputation that holds no real value. Most people get bothered because they're trying to protect a version of themselves they created just to impress others. When you let go of that, life gets lighter. Ego wants you to respond to everything. Ego wants you to clap back. Ego wants you to show them who you are. But real power is when you know who you are without needing to show anybody. When you're solid inside yourself, no outside opinion can shake you. You don't need validation. You don't need applause. You don't need agreement. You move because your purpose pulls you, not because your pride pushes you. People will talk. People will lie. People will misunderstand you. People will underestimate you. And that's fine. That's part of the journey. But if you react to every opinion, you turn your whole life into a debate. You turn your peace into a battleground. Detaching from ego means accepting that you don't need to be right in everybody's eyes. You just need to be real in your own. One of the biggest tricks ego plays is making you think you're losing when you walk away, like silence is weakness. Like not responding means you're scared, but truth is silence is strategy. Walking away is discipline. Not engaging is maturity. Anybody can react. That's the easy part. But it takes control to stay calm when someone tries to pull you out of character. It takes wisdom to realize not every disrespect requires a response. It takes strength to see past the moment and protect the bigger picture. Detach from ego, and you'll notice something: the things that used to upset you don't hit the same. The people who used to irritate you can't get a reaction anymore. The situations that once triggered you now look small. Why? Because ego magnifies everything. It makes small comments feel huge. It makes small problems feel personal. It makes everything feel like an attack. But when you detach, you see things as they are, not as your pride interprets them. Most of the time, when someone comes at you, it's not even about you. It's their insecurity, their jealousy, their frustration, their need to feel powerful. Ego makes you take everything personally. Detachment allows you to recognize what's coming from you and what's coming from them. And look, letting go of ego doesn't mean letting people walk over you. It means not letting them walk you out of your peace. It means choosing battles with intention, not emotion. It means responding when it aligns with your growth, not your pride. When you detach from ego, you move freer, you think clearer, you grow faster. Because ego is heavy. It keeps you stuck in old patterns. It keeps you defending old versions of yourself. Once you let that go, you step into real confidence. Not the loud kind, the unshakable kind, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself. You stop proving and start living. You stop reacting and start choosing. You stop protecting an identity and start protecting your peace. Detach from ego and watch your whole life elevate. Choosing your battles with vision, that's what separates someone who's just surviving the moment from someone who's building a future. Most people fight every little thing that comes their way. Every disrespect, every rumor, every opinion, every misunderstanding, they treat it like a war. They pour energy into situations that don't move them forward, don't grow them, don't serve their mission. And then they wonder why they're tired, drained, unfocused, and stuck in the same place. It's because they never learned the discipline of direction. They never learned that not all battles are meant to be fought, and even fewer are meant to be won. You got to understand something real. A person who doesn't know their destination will get caught in every distraction. But a person who has vision, a person who's locked in, a person who knows exactly what they're building and why they're building it, they move different. They don't react emotionally. They don't defend their pride. They don't chase down every situation that tries to pull them off track. They think long term. They think legacy. They think purpose. And when you think like that, you stop letting small things steal big energy. Choosing your battles with vision means asking yourself a simple question before you respond. Does this matter to where I'm going? If the answer is no, you let it go instantly. No debate, no explanation, no emotional investment. Because you understand that time is currency, energy is currency, focus is currency, and your future is too expensive to waste them. Most conflicts people get into are rooted in ego, not purpose. Somebody bumps you the wrong way, looks at you funny, talks slick, throws shade, underestimates you, and your first instinct is to react. But think about it. Does responding change your life? Does matching their energy elevate you? Does proving yourself to them open new doors? Nah. It just drags you into a moment that isn't worth the minutes you spend in it. When you carry vision, you stop fighting to win arguments and start fighting to win your future. You stop trying to be right and start trying to be aligned. You stop trying to protect your image and start protecting your direction. Some people will call it weakness, but it's the opposite. It takes strength to walk away from energy that threatens your growth. It takes discipline to stay focused when your pride wants you to react. It takes real maturity to say, this isn't worth my elevation. And not every battle is about people. Sometimes the battle is with distractions. Sometimes it's with procrastination. Sometimes it's with your own habits, your old patterns, your old mindset. But even then, vision keeps you honest. Vision keeps you choosing what builds you instead of what breaks you. It keeps you aligned with who you're becoming, not who you used to be. People with vision don't fight for attention. They fight for progress. They don't fight for validation. They fight for discipline. They don't fight out of insecurity. They fight with intention. They understand that every battle has a cost. And if the cost is your peace, your focus, or your energy, then the price is too high. When you choose your battles with vision, life becomes quieter. Drama stops finding you because it can't feed off you. Small-minded people stop affecting you because you don't give them space in your head. Situations that used to irritate you now feel invisible because vision forces you to level up your thinking. It forces you to look beyond the moment and into the bigger picture. And once you start moving with the bigger picture in mind, everything small loses weight. The most powerful people aren't the ones who fight the most. They're the ones who fight with purpose. They don't swing at every problem. They don't throw energy at everything that moves. They pick their battles carefully, intentionally, strategically. They understand momentum. They understand direction. They understand that you don't get where you're meant to go by feeding every distraction that asks for your attention. So learn to pause, learn to evaluate, learn to ask yourself, is this worth it? Does this build me? Does this align with my purpose? If it doesn't, let it go. Not because you're scared, not because you're passive, but because you're focused. Because your mission matters more than your emotions. Because your growth matters more than your pride. Because your future matters more than the noise trying to pull you backward. Choose your battles with vision, and you'll win the war that actually matters, the war for the life you're meant to live. Recognizing energy exchanges. That's one of the most underrated skills you'll ever develop. Most people move through life thinking interactions are just conversations, just moments, just passing vibes. But every time you talk to someone, every time you listen, every time you respond, every time you let something into your mind, you're trading energy. You're giving something, you're receiving something, or something is being taken from you. And when you don't understand that, you get drained without knowing why. You get irritated without knowing who triggered it. You get unfocused without seeing where your energy leaked. Life becomes heavier because you're carrying energy that's not even yours. You got to understand that not everybody comes to add. Some people come to pull. Some people come to take. Some people come to feed off your light because they don't know how to create their own. Some people attach themselves to you because your energy makes them feel alive. But what does it do to you? That's the question most people never stop to ask. Recognizing energy exchanges means paying attention to the feeling behind the interaction, not just the words. It means checking how you feel after talking to someone. Do you feel inspired, motivated, clear, focused, at peace? Or do you feel drained, tight, frustrated, confused, heavy? That emotional shift is the truth. That's the energy exchange. Words may lie, but energy never does. Everybody isn't supposed to have access to you. Some people only call when they need to unload. Some people only show up when they need validation, attention, or a boost. Some people use your strength as their lifeline. And if you're not careful, you become the power source for people who never recharge you back. You become the emotional bank that everybody withdraws from but nobody deposits into. And that's how you end up exhausted, irritated, and bothered by everything. Recognizing energy exchanges means understanding intention. Some people approach you with good intentions, with genuine love, with real support. Others come with hidden motives, quiet jealousy, silent competition. They smile, but their energy feels off. They compliment you, but it doesn't sit right. That's not imagination. That's your intuition sensing an imbalance in the exchange. When you start tuning into energy instead of noise, you stop letting everybody into your space. You stop responding to people who only come to drain. You stop giving long conversations to people who don't deserve more than a short answer. You stop letting people's chaos become your emotional responsibility. You start protecting your peace like it's gold. Because it is. Recognizing energy exchanges also means understanding your own role. Sometimes you give too much, not because you're weak, but because you're built with a big heart, a healing presence, a calm spirit. People feel safe around you. They feel understood. They feel grounded. And that's beautiful. But it's also dangerous if you don't know how to set limits. You can't pour into everybody. You can't save everybody. You can't be a light for people who refuse to turn on their own. You got to learn to give without losing yourself. You also have to recognize when you're picking up energy that doesn't belong to you. Sometimes you're angry and it's not yours. Sometimes you're stressed and it's not yours. Sometimes you're irritated and it's not yours. You were fine until you stepped into somebody else's atmosphere. You got to learn to separate what you feel from what you absorb. This is where awareness comes in. Pause and ask yourself, is this mine? If you feel heavy but your day was peaceful, that's somebody else's energy sitting on you. Shake it off. Don't hold it. Don't carry it. Don't let it live in your mind. When you recognize energy exchanges, you start becoming intentional about your circle. You start appreciating the people who give back, who uplift you, who add to your life. You start distancing yourself from people who drain, distract, or disrupt your peace. You stop engaging in conversations that lower your vibration. You stop entertaining people who live off negativity. When you recognize energy exchanges, you start moving smarter. You start protecting your focus. You start choosing peace over proving something. You start choosing silence over arguments. You start choosing distance over drama. You start choosing people who match your energy, not just want access to it. Life gets clearer. Your mind gets lighter. Your emotions get calmer because you're no longer trading your energy recklessly. You're investing it with intention. Recognize every exchange. Notice who feeds you and who bleeds you. Notice who lifts you and who drains you. Notice who brings calm and who brings chaos. And once you see it clearly, adjust accordingly, because your energy shapes your life and you owe it to yourself to protect it. Turning pressure into power, that's a mindset you don't learn from books, you learn it from life. From the moments that break most people, from the situations that make you question your strength, from the seasons where everything feels heavy on your shoulders. Pressure is something everybody feels, but not everybody knows what to do with it. Some people fold under it. Some people run from it. Some people blame the world for it. But the ones who rise, the ones who become solid, they learn how to turn that pressure into fuel. You got to realize something early. Pressure isn't the enemy. Pressure is the indicator that you're growing. Diamonds don't form without pressure. Muscles don't strengthen without resistance. Greatness doesn't show up without struggle. Pressure is life's way of asking you, how bad do you want it? How strong are you willing to become? How much can you handle without breaking character? And your answer isn't in your words. Your answer is in how you move when everything around you feels heavy. A lot of people want a smooth path. They want success without sacrifice, progress without pain, elevation without endurance. But the reality is, pressure is part of the process. Every setback, every challenge, every moment of doubt is shaping you. It's sharpening your thinking, testing your patience, building your discipline. Pressure forces you to become someone stronger than the version you were yesterday. Turning pressure into power starts with your mentality. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Instead of saying, I can't handle this, you say, this is preparing me. Instead of collapsing, you adapt. Instead of breaking, you build. When you shift your perspective, you stop seeing pressure as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. Life will put you in situations that stretch you. Times where the bills outweigh the income. Times where people switch up. Times where your plans fall apart. Times where doors close that you swore would stay open. That's pressure. But instead of letting it crush you, you learn to use it. You use it to develop resilience. You use it to keep pushing when motivation runs out. You use it to prove to yourself that you're built for more than the moment you're standing in. Pressure is also a filter. It separates people. Some come around when life is easy, but disappear when things get real. Pressure exposes loyalty. It reveals intentions. It shows you who's really in your corner and who was only there for the benefits. That clarity is power, because the more you understand who's with you and who's against you, the cleaner your path becomes. Turning pressure into power means not letting temporary stress cause permanent damage. It means staying calm when things get chaotic. It means trusting your journey, even when you can't see the next step. Pressure will tell you to panic, but you respond with patience. Pressure will tell you to quit, but you respond with consistency. Pressure will tell you you're not capable, but you respond by proving yourself wrong day after day. And listen, pressure will make you uncomfortable. Growth isn't supposed to feel safe. Evolution isn't supposed to feel easy. You're stepping into bigger roles, bigger responsibilities, bigger versions of yourself. That discomfort you feel, it's your old self fighting against your new self. But the more you endure, the stronger the new version becomes. There's a moment in life where you look back and realize the things that almost broke you are the same things that made you powerful. The nights you felt lost taught you how to find direction. The people who betrayed you taught you how to move with caution and clarity. The failures taught you lessons that success never could. Pressure didn't destroy you. It refined you. When you learn to turn pressure into power, you stop being afraid of challenges. You stop running from hard times. You stop letting obstacles define your mood. You move with the mindset that everything happening right now is building the strength you'll need for what's coming next. You become someone who doesn't fold, someone who doesn't get shaken easily, someone who takes hits and still stands tall, someone who turns struggle into strategy and pain into purpose. That's the real power, being able to face pressure, stand in it, breathe through it, and use it to elevate your life. Turn pressure into power, and you'll become unstoppable.